Saul Canelo Alvarez defeats William Scull to become the new super middleweight undisputed champion of the world. Canelo won via unanimous decision last night in Riyadh. I must say, that card was absolutely boring. Do you know what I mean? Another snooze fest. I don't know what is going on. Do you know what I mean? The last two nights, it's just been underwhelming, man. Let me keep it real. You know me, man. I just keep it real with you. I don't beat around the bush, man. I don't mince my words. The Times Square event, that was boring. That was underwhelming. That was a snooze fest. I was expecting, okay, the guys in Riyadh will up the game a little bit and give us a little bit of entertainment. Again, boring for me. Do you know what I mean? Boring. Now, I purchased the pay-per-view on the Zone because the Zone were doing a deal. Shout out to the Zone. They were doing a deal. You buy both cards. You know what I mean? You get a discount. So, you know what I mean? It was value for money. So I purchased both events. But I must say, man, I still feel like I didn't get value for money, man. Do you know what I mean? I still feel like, yo, I've been ripped off here because both events have been so underwhelming. I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, it's bank holiday here in the UK. We've got a long bank holiday, long weekend. We got Monday off. There's no work. Do you know what I mean? This was meant to be the weekend where we just chill and enjoy some boxing. Do you know what I mean? But I have not been entertained and I have not enjoyed the boxing. Do you know what I mean? But shout out to Canelo, man. Undisputed champ for the second time at super middleweight. Shout out to him. He went in there. He did his thing. Do you know what I mean? You can't blame him. Do you know what I mean? You can't all blame it on Canelo. It takes two to tango. Do you know what I mean? William Scull did not go in there to fight. He was in there to survive. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about the fight a little bit more in a bit. But before we carry on, yes, my people, please don't forget to smash the like button. Also, leave your comments down below. As usual, I will do my best to always reply. It's not always possible, but I try my best to reply to all the comments. And also, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. We are now on the way to 2,000 subs, and you can help us get there so much quicker. So go ahead, do all the above. It doesn't cost you anything. Just go ahead, click the button, and magic will happen. Do you know what I mean? Have you done it yet? Have you done it? Click it. There you go. Magic. It's happened. It's happened. Share the video as well with your loved one and friends. I really appreciate my people. But yeah, man, last night, I was falling asleep. I'm going to keep it real, man. You know what I mean? The Times Square event with Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, I was falling asleep as well because I'm going to keep it real. There was snooze fest. I was like, yo, what is going on here? I was expecting high-level intensity performances, but we just haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to read out the scorecard for Saul Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull. Obviously, Canelo won via unanimous decision. Scorecards, I kind of agree with the last judge. The first two, I'm like, what's going on? 115, 113, 116, 112, 119, 109. Now, I agree with 119, 109. I gave Scull 2 rounds, if that. Do you know what I mean? Scull was so poor. He was bouncing around the ring. Do you know what I mean? A lot of movement without being effective at all. Do you know what I mean? Once in a while, he will engage when he's trading with Canelo. Do you know what I mean? But Scull himself, he never initiated any of the action. He was bouncing around the ring like a rabbit. It was almost like the fox versus the rabbit. Do you know what I mean? The fox hunting a rabbit, William Scull bouncing around, moving around, doing absolutely nothing. It's like he didn't lose enough weight during training camp, and he was using the fight against Canelo. An undisputed fight, by the way. Yeah, he was using it to lose more weight, to burn more fat. You might as well just give him a treadmill, put in a ring and say, my guy, just go ahead, run the treadmill, bro. You might as well do that because that's what he did. That's what William Scull did. He went in there to run the treadmill. He didn't do shit. What was that about? I always feel like, listen, if you're the B side, If you're fighting Canelo, who's the A side, you're the B side. You're not going to beat Canelo. You're not going to win a points decision by running around. It's not going to happen. Canelo is the superstar, is the bigger name. They're always going to protect the bag. You're not the bag, William Scull. Do you know what I mean? At least give the judges something to think about. At least give us, the viewers at home, a chance to say, you know what? Maybe that was a robbery. Maybe Canelo lost that one, but you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? You bouncing around the ring, didn't do jack all, mate. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, yeah, you're probably never going to be on another Riyad card. That was your chance and you blew it. Do you know what I mean? Even promoters watching you are thinking, yo, I don't want to sign this guy. He's boring. He's bouncing around. Do you know what I mean? But at least if you went in there, you engaged, you fought, you did your best, even though you could have got knocked out, TKO'd, whatever. But at least if you fought, you showed something. You gave us something to remember you by. At least we can say, yo, we want to see William Scull in another fight. But we can't say that. Listen, I couldn't care less if I don't see William Scull ever again, mate. Because he didn't do shit. I don't know what the game plan was. Was the game plan just to go in there and survive? Do you know what I mean? It looked like William Scull didn't want to get knocked out. He didn't want to go down in the list of the fighters that Canelo's knocked out. So he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in here. I've made my millions. Money's in the bank. Bag secured. I'm going to survive. At least I went 12 rounds with the famous, the legendary Saul Canelo Alvarez. He looked like he was just happy to be in the ring, mate. Do you know what I mean? He did not come in there to participate. He came in there just to be a spectator like the rest of us. Do you know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to put all the blame on William Scull, even though I put 90% on him. But Saul Canelo Alvarez himself as well. Congratulations to him. Undisputed and all that. But I feel like Canelo could have cut off the ring a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? Canelo looked a bit flat-footed in there. Canelo looked a bit slow in there last night against William Scull. He didn't do enough. Do you know what I mean? He didn't gauge his distance well enough. Do you know what I mean? He was never in range to really let the jab get going, to let his right hand go. There'll be moments in that fight where he'll go to the body. Do you know what I mean? Where he'll kind of corner William Scull and go to the body, but those were fine few in between. Do you know what I mean? Canelo didn't really do enough either. Do you know what I mean? He did enough to win the fight, but Canelo didn't look great in that fight. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real here. Let's keep it 100. Canelo didn't look great in that fight last night. Do you know what I mean? As much as I've got so much smoke for William Scull, because I believe as the B side, you need to do your best to beat the A side. Because everything's already against you. You need to initiate the action. You need to press. You need to go for it. But William Scull didn't do any of that. But at the same time, Canelo didn't look good either. He wasn't cutting off the ring well. I don't know whether Canelo is slowed down because of age. He's had a long career, man. Why is Canelo 33, 34? But he's had a long career. He's had a lot of fights, man. He's got a lot of mileage on the clock. Maybe those legs of his are just starting to slow down a bit. Do you know what I mean? And that could spell trouble for him against Terrence "Bud" Crawford. You know what I mean? And talking about Bud, let's move on to that. Let's move on to that. Because Crawford was called into the ring. He was actually there in Riyadh last night. He was called into the ring by Turki Al-Sheikh. The two men faced off. And I must say, during the face-off, Terrence Crawford looks taller, ain't he? But then again, Canelo was wearing the boxing shoes. And Crawford was wearing like Air Forces, isn't it? So they give a little bit of a lift. They're probably the same height. Crawford is looking slightly bigger now as well. Obviously, he's been training. He's putting on the weight. He's pushing weight. He's eating a lot more. So he's trying to get bigger to make that, to fight at 168. You know, Crawford must have been watching that fight last night thinking, yo, I can beat this guy. Canelo didn't look great at all. Do you know what I mean? And one thing Crawford won't do, even though Crawford will have a lot of lateral movement, he will be moving around in the ring. But Crawford will engage. Crawford will throw punches. He won't do what William Scull did last night, just a lot of movement without being effective. Crawford will trade with Canelo. Do you know what I mean? Now, whether that's going to be a bad thing for Crawford, because if you're engaging with Canelo, obviously there's a danger you can get caught, get knocked out. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure Crawford is smart enough to deviate, do you know what I mean? To kind of like navigate some of the sticky situations against Canelo, you know? So it's interesting. The fight is now set. It's set in stone. The date has been confirmed by Tekel Sheikh himself. He did it in the ring. Canelo versus Terrence Bud Crawford will happen on the 12th of September in Las Vegas. We don't know the venue yet, but it's going to be in Las Vegas. You know, Crawford is on it. Canelo is on it. So, yeah, it's going to be a super fight. It's the fight that we all want to see. And I'm interested, man. I can't wait to see that fight. Let me know in the comments what you guys and girls think, but I can't wait to see that fight. It's a super fight. Crawford is very confident. He believes that his boxing skills, his ability will be enough to get him the victory on the night. But I'm slightly worried. Even though Crawford's putting on that weight, he's looking bigger, but going all the way up to 168, where Canelo's comfortable, where Canelo's used to that weight. Do you know what I mean? Canelo's going to have the power, he's going to have the size, even though they look the same height. But in terms of the size, Canelo is used to being and fighting at 168. Terrence Crawford is not. We saw Terrence Crawford at 154. He struggled a little bit against Modrimov. Now you're going up another 2-weight divisions. It's going to be tough. And Crawford won't have the power. It's not like you put on the mass, you get bigger, you're eating, all of a sudden you've got power. That's not how it works. It takes a while. It takes growing into the division to develop and really build that power. You're not going to have in one fight. It's not going to happen. So don't expect Crawford to go in there and knock out Canelo. It's just not going to happen. Crawford might be able to outpoint Canelo, like win a decision, but don't expect a TKO or a KO. Now, if anything, Canelo will knock out Bud, because Canelo's got the power, he's got the size, he's got everything, he's got the advantage. Do you know what I mean? Crawford will have the speed advantage and movement, of course, because Canelo has slowed down slightly. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. I will talk about that fight a little bit more, obviously, the closer it gets. September, there's still a while to go. So I'll talk about that. We'll do a breakdown and analysis and everything like that. But yeah, overall, Riyad card, boring. I've got the Martin Bakole video coming up. So watch out for that. I'm going to drop that later on today. You know what I mean? So just watch out for that. Stay tuned. But yeah, let me know, guys and girls, what you thought about that performance of William Scull versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, Canelo now undisputed champion in super middleweight. What do you think of Canelo's performance? Do you see Canelo slowing down a bit? He looked a bit flat-footed. And how do you think he'll deal with Terrence Bud Crawford, who's way more talented than William Scull? Do you see Crawford beating Canelo in September? Guys and girls, let me know in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.